Hi, it's editing me from the episode that I'm just like, I realize that it's very discombobulated and it doesn't really always make a lot of sense, but it's just me and my friend talking and we kind of got into it. And so, if you have anything that you didn't quite understand that you want to know with more context on, I can obviously give that context. So just message me.
Hello.
Hey,
How you doing, Hannah?
so exciting. I
Okay.
feel like we haven't. Oh, hold on. I need to turn off my music. I literally have my. Okay. I was just waiting and I was chilling, listening to Spotify.
I have not done, let me just tell you, that was the fastest time I've ever done like laundry. Ever. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
oh,
shoot.
I
I had
thought you
to,
said trash. I don't know why I read trash. I
oh
was
no,
like,
I had
I
to,
thought the trash takes like 5 minutes. I was like, huh. Kind
no,
of
I had
sus.
to, there was stuff in the washing machine and she wanted me to take it out and hang it. And there was like a lot of stuff. So sorry about that.
Anyway, hey guys. Well, you can't see the video obviously because we're not gonna put the video. We're gonna put audio only. So this is my friend from youth group. She will be referred to as Luca, even though well,
Yeah.
her name isn't Luca, but it is what it
It's just
is.
isn't it? Yeah. Privacy purposes.
Yes. We cannot let the big tech giants find out who you are.
Yeah. I'm kind of on the run. No, I'm kidding.
So, Luca, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, yeah, my name's not Luca, but we're gonna pretend it is. I'm 15 years old, and I'm a human being. There's my introduction.
Okay. Well, we're on Zoom right now, so it's like it's really good to see you, like just see you, because I
Yeah,
know
I
we
feel
saw
like
each
we
other
haven't
at
seen
youth
each other
group.
in forever.
We saw each other at youth group, but it was so like
It was
because
brief,
we
yeah.
watched a movie, and then as soon as the movie was over, I feel like I didn't see you. You were just like gone or something.
I disappeared. Well, my mom texted, so we had to like skedaddle
Jet,
very
gotta
quickly.
leave.
Yeah, we were in and out. That was it. We came for the movie only, no socialization. Okay.
Who goes to youth group for the people? I only go for the
Not. You
movies.
just go there for the food and the activities. What is this
Completely
connection?
taking advantage of the system.
That's how you're smart, Hannah.
Yes, exactly. Um, well, anyway, you didn't get to see my epic T-shirt, but I'll probably wear it again at some point. So we'll still get it. Actually, you're not on break, except well, it's Easter, so you have like Easter break, right?
I have Friday off and I have today off and I have Monday off. So
So
yeah.
like Easter. So then, because
Yeah.
we have an April break and it starts like Easter weekend and it goes until like next Friday,
Oh,
school
interesting.
wise. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, our school like has 2 weeks March break, although I think your school also has 2 weeks March break. But for us, they compensated by just giving us a few days off for Easter rather than giving us the whole break.
Oh no, we only have 1 week for March break.
Oh, okay.
They
Sorry.
like I guess they split it up. It's supposed to be at the end of each like a semester that they give us a week break. So we have November break and we have April break.
Is this a
Except
normal thing or is this?
yeah, it's always been this
Oh,
way.
okay.
Except now they changed our schedule, so now we have 3 weeks of winter break on top of November and April break. They changed the schedule around too. Like I mean, I don't honestly hate it. It's just kind of weird. We have a 15-day cycle, and it's almost like elementary school style, where if we have a pet day, we'll just like skip that day. So, for example, if you have a pet day on Friday today, this would have been Friday 3, and they don't count it. Like
Okay.
next day will be Monday 1.
Oh, interesting. For us, it's like it gets shifted to the next day.
Yeah, it used to be that way, but now I don't know. They've been
Everything's
doing whatever. Although
yeah.
it is nice to get more time for the break. Like even though it's not really a break because they're still giving us a bunch of homework, but
Yeah. Like I have a test on Tuesday that I have to study for, and it's like really like could you not
that's
my
tough.
Easter? Can I have Easter in peace, please? But you know, my science teacher was like, no, science doesn't give you peace.
What are you guys studying right now?
In science or just in general?
So what?
In science or just in general?
Oh, science.
Well, regular science, we're doing like the atmosphere, troposphere, stratosphere, all that stuff. We just started that. And then in EST, where our test is on stoichiometry and titration, and I don't even know what my test is on. It's a bad sign. And some other thing. Why am I forgetting it? Bond energies, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, and exothermic and endothermic reactions. If you ask me what any of these things are, I cannot explain them to you. Which means I have
Well,
to study.
I think we did that unit like a little bit earlier. Right now we're in techno type stuff. So
Oh,
we're supposed to be building like a parade cart type thing. And it's a big yikes because we only recently went back to school, right? And we're supposed to build each one, like one per each member of the team, even though we're like all together now. So I don't get why we can't just make like one parade cart, you know?
yeah, interesting. Okay.
And we're supposed to implement mechanisms that work via reused and recycled materials. So not only does it have to like sound a bit crazy to like make your own mechanisms, but you also have to use recycled stuff, which like
That's crazy.
only at Saint Anne
Yeah.
would you have to like use recycled materials, because they definitely have the budget, okay, for a full scale type thing, but they're like, we want to be eco-friendly, and I was like, oh, I don't think this is your guys' eco problem, you know.
You know what? I think rip the environment. It's just it's dead. It's dying. Like every day, our science teacher is like telling us about how because we're learning about the atmosphere and the hydrosphere and lithosphere, right? So every day he's like, the planet's just gonna die and we're slowly killing it and there's nothing we can do about it even if we try. Okay.
What an optimist.
I know. He's great. He's great, my teacher. Yeah.
Pretty sure that like in third grade, which I don't know if it's necessarily the best time to start telling kids that it's the end of the world. But I remember our teacher, because back then we only had like one teacher for everything. She told us, hey guys, fish, there's gonna be no fish in 2055. So you guys will be a little bit older than middle-aged when that happens. And everyone was just like traumatized. No more fish.
Traumatizing. I was never told that. So thank you for traumatizing me.
Yes, exactly. I mean, apparently we're running out of everything. Like before we die, we're just gonna run out of every single resource on the planet. So
well, it makes sense because the amount of people on this planet is insane.
And it keeps
it keeps going up. Exactly. My science teacher just low-key slipping in. He's like, I know this sounds really weird, but
Thanos
we kind of
is right.
another world war right now. And I'm just like, you don't just say that. But I mean, he has a point. Like, it's so dark and morbid to think about.
Thanos was right. He should have just created a new.
Point. What if Thanos was doing it for the environment? Can you think about it? What if he's actually a good guy this entire time and we've been trashing him for killing
he killed all of them. He could have like created a new reality and put them in it, but instead he just decided to just poof them. So
look, he had his priorities right. Can't deny that.
Although in that universe, like people on other planets, like there are alien life forms, and I would say that if there were, because obviously the aliens contacted the Earth people first, like the Earth people didn't find the aliens found them. And so if you have like that kind of technology, then you should be able to like help save the world or whatever. So
well, I mean, also at the same time, they probably focus on like their own planet and fixing their own respective problems.
Selfish.
Planet nationalism.
Yeah. Selfish as guardians.
Yeah. Could have solved the problems in a second and they just didn't.
They're like, no, what if I don't? What if I'm not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Marvel was cool. All right, segue into a new topic, or are you doing more?
Not really a segue. I'm really bad. I mean, I don't know how many episodes you've listened to up till now, but like, it's.
I mean, I'm open to talking about literally everything and anything. So.
Oh, I meant to say like, let's introduce our relationship. What are we to each other?
We are human beings to each other.
Yeah, I don't care about you. I hate you. I really dislike your presence.
No, Hannah, we're Costco wholesale, remember?
Oh yeah, man. I wanted to talk about camp too.
Yeah.
You already blew the punch, man. Well, since you didn't introduce, basically Luca and I met at youth group, like probably in Sec 1, but I honestly cannot remember.
I think Sec 1, yeah.
Probably at some point Sec 1. And what I remember is I just it's not very nice, but I kind of just saw you as book girl, But
Doesn't everyone?
and her, I mean, since you went to the same school as Cameron for a while, you were just like Cameron's friend. Because I've known Cameron for like a long time and stuff.
Yeah, it was honestly same here. You were Cameron's youth group friend. I was like, I don't know who this person is. I'm kind of new here. What was happening?
The
Other
vibes.
than Cameron, I didn't know anyone at youth group.
Right. I forgot about that.
I heard her talk about Nora a few times.
Mm.
So I kind of knew, like, Cameron's other friend, but it was mostly everyone was Cameron knows them, so like, I guess they're okay. I don't know.
Oh, wait. I forgot. How did you, was it Cameron that introduced you to like Westview or something?
Yes, but we have previous like my family has previous connections to SU. My parents got married there. They used to go.
Oh.
They used to go to they know about a lot of the people who used to go before. They know a lot of the, I guess, I don't know. I'm trying not to say older people, but I guess I don't say older people. So and then what happened was for a time we stopped going to church, and then Cameron was the one who invited me to youth group. And then my parents have been kind of looking for an incentive to go back to church. And then I think the week after, or like a couple of weeks after, she invited me to Dustin's sermon.
Right.
Sermon.
Wait.
Do you remember?
You only showed up when it was Dustin? Whoa, I feel like Dustin was a lot farther in Sec 1 than I remember. I'm trying to think. Was it the one outside?
No, it was inside. He had done a sermon. It was inside, and ever since then we kept going.
So fun. Do you remember what your first impression of me was, other than Cameron's friend?
I'm sorry, I don't remember that part. COVID messed with my memory. But,
me either.
It's just like I liked talking to you guys. Like it was nice to have Christian friends. So even though I didn't know you guys that well, it was nice knowing that. Like when I first came into the small group, I remember one of my earlier impressions was, "Hey, I can talk to these people." And it's like, no judgment zone. So I was kind of like, "Oh, you guys are cool." And then as I got to know you better, I was like, "Okay, yeah, you guys are good."
What a wild time! what a bunch of wild people! What an experience!
It was an experience.
Yeah. Do you remember the first retreat you went to? Was it Breakaway that you went to, or was it Snow Blast?
I never went to Breakaway. I went to Snow Blast, but I'd gone the first time I went like away on a church kind of thing was Frontier Lodge.
Oh, wait, you went to camp that year?
I think it was the year after, maybe. I don't remember.
Hold on. I'm trying to track the time. Oh, it was definitely 2019. Summer 2019.
It was the first time I went with my brother was the year before we went with you guys and with
okay, so it was 2018. Yeah. So it was summer Sec 1. And then I remember the next summer you were at camp with like a co-ed type thing. Well, they don't call it co-ed anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, but I remember we were all together. Most of the small group was all together. It was the Princess Bride theme. It was great.
Rip May.
That's true. She wasn't there. Yeah.
It was a tough time. And that's where Costco Wholesale came from. For those who are like even listening, keeping track of what's happening.
Yeah, so Costco Wholesale were like camp names, right? We were thinking about what would happen if we became I guess counselors or whatever, and they have these camp names. So we were like, oh, what to pick? And then I don't even know. Did you say it or did I say it?
Oh, you said it. Because
Costco
I remember I was just like, I was praising Costco for being, as you do. I mean,
Costco's amazing.
Are you surprised that I was talking about how great Costco was at camp?
Yeah. Can we just say Costco is a legend?
It's so genius the way that they did it because, you think, I'm pretty sure, yeah, they said, like, Costco admits that their $1.50 hot dogs, like, they lose money by making it, but they make money because every time you get the hot dog, you also get the, like, I don't know, paper towels, you get the mangoes, you get the everything.
Yeah, like, you can't go to Costco with one item in your head. Or maybe you do, but then you come up with, like, a whole, like, my experience at Costco every time we go is we take the big orange carriage, and every time it's, like, a couple of $100 we spend because we go and we buy everything in bulk. Like, we're, like, good Costco customers here.
Yeah,
like,
very loyal.
Costco, if you're listening, I'm a very loyal customer of yours. I don't know. Yeah, this video is not sponsoring Costco. I mean, it kind of is, but we were not paid to do this, so like, don't sue us.
If only I was paid. Except I'm not famous, so.
Yeah.
Have they ever done like an actual because usually the brands that sponsor YouTubers and stuff or like celebrities, they're usually makeup or wellness brands. There's
Yeah.
never, or maybe they're like
When you look at
clothing.
Honey,
Oh
you know
yeah, like
Honey?
Honey
Honey's like
or
doing everything, no?
Audible, that type of thing. But I
Audible,
don't
like
think I've
doing
ever
what?
heard of like Walmart or Costco
Yeah, that's true.
sponsoring a
Well, I
place.
think those stores are good enough on their own that they don't need sponsorships. You know
Yeah,
what I
because they're
mean?
so huge. They're just
Yeah. Costco's like, I'm above sponsorships, thank you.
I'm my own sponsor.
Yeah. If I want to sponsor myself, I'll do it myself, thank you. Yeah.
Anyway, I remember especially like at camp, camp after Sec 2, it was a vibe because I remember we we kind of bonded over that time since we were the first two to wake up in the morning
Yeah.
after a wild
Yeah,
night of
it
partying.
was fun times. Fun
Oh
times.
yeah, by the way,
The
guys,
people,
this is Christian camp. We weren't like we weren't really being wild, but
I mean, we were wild in our own way. Like we attacked Caesar.
oh man,
Yeah. Like
I forgot that part.
we went after him and we were waiting, we stabbed him and then we thought, okay, we didn't stab him, don't take that the wrong way. Stabbed him with cool noodles or fake swords or something.
Yeah,
Right?
we fake stabbed him.
We fake stabbed him and then we were so disappointed that he didn't say ep6 because we were waiting for him to like say it.
This whole episode is just like me and Luca with no context. Literally nothing makes any sense. It's all a flow of consciousness. Nothing of it.
Technique. Let's go.
Yeah, it just goes from somewhere, and you're like not sure where you're going.
Like we're trying our best. Okay, it's Christian camp. We were attacking someone because that's not what people at camp do.
Icon. Do you remember other stuff from camp? I feel like it was so fun.
I had the pouch of sanitizer everywhere I went. So I was prepared for COVID. You were
COVID safe before COVID even happened.
Exactly. That's every time. Like my mom used to say last year when COVID's still a big thing, but she always was like, I was like ready for COVID before it even hit. And we're like, yeah, Mom, we know. Okay. Like she was a bit crazy about like sanitizer and all that. But I mean, you know what? I don't have COVID, so maybe she's right about that.
She was onto something before it was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now everyone's claiming everyone's claiming they predicted the pandemic, and it's like
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, were you at Snowblast right before COVID? Because that was that was fun.
Yes, I was at Snowblast.
I barely remember it, but it was just like, if only we knew, you know.
I was just so happy that we had beds that were indoors. And like, as much as I love Frontier Lodge, I'm really suspicious of the cabins. And I was on the top and there were like bugs everywhere. So I really hated that. But Snowblast, I was so happy we had like indoor. It was like.
The first time I went to Breakaway in Sec 1, I was like, oh, it's not even that cold. But it was... I mean, going to camp right next to the water, it's so cold in the morning. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to wear some thick pants, some big sweater, because also, we're in cabins at camp. Just for context, you have to walk to the bathrooms to get ready in the morning. So, first of all, like, you know, you're basically not awake. You're like, oh, I don't know what's going on. You haven't washed your face yet.
You gotta watch your step. I've tripped so many times, like, just going to the bathroom. What is happening? That's
fun.
But even at camp during the summer, I remember waking up a few times. It was freezing. But that was also because, it was like weird because the night was really hot, so I only slept with like a sheet rather than in my sleeping bag. And then I woke up in the morning and I was like, I had hypothermia. It was not fun. But
maybe that's why they kept us awake so late. I mean, I remember Ella got so frustrated one night. She was like, guys, please stop talking. I'm so tired. And it makes sense now. I was like, oh, she's being such a downer. But like the time we had between like going to bed and waking up was very short. So
yeah. I remember, was it Nora's friend? Autumn, right?
Yeah.
Remember that one time we were like up and we were like telling everyone to wake up and everyone was hating on us and it was like
waking up Cameron in the morning? Oof. That was rough.
That was very rough.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, I feel like we were always late to meals or something. Like, I mean, we weren't late, but we just weren't as early as the other groups.
Yes, and also because of the games that they made. Okay, this Christian camp made us play games to get in
while
and get
waiting
food,
for them
which
to
I
set up.
question. I question a lot, but we were always last because we never. I'm trying to think
Tried.
what games. Yeah, we always sucked. What? Wait, what? No, not games. What did he make us do? Like we would stand outside in our lines, and then he'd be like in front of the mess hall, and then he
I
would
think
like tell
sometimes
us
he'd
to do.
ask like, "Who wants to sing a song?" Or I don't remember honestly. It just I remember always feeling so hungry, and him trying to like do activities. I was like, I'm not ready for this. I'm just waiting for the door to open. I do not want to like do this right now. And also, a lot of the time, it was like 7 or 8 a.m. and he's like, okay, guys, let's all like clap together and start singing a song or something. And I was like, it's not the time, bro. Like, read the room, or I guess
You
read
like
the
look at all
outside.
these hungry children like just ready to charge you.
Yeah.
You won't make it if we charge. But I'm trying. He made. I remember because it was so. I was like really annoyed. We always like came in last. He would make us do like. Trying to think. He would make us go get stones or something. I don't know. I completely don't remember, but
Mm.
we would always come in last because like we were okay, not always, like sometimes. Yeah. Like, okay, remember we did the movie scene? He made us do like a movie scene, and we did the opening scene to a movie, and we had grass and sticks, and we waved them around, and we were like
Uh,
peaceful scenery, yeah.
yeah. I remember when we had to. It was like a huge cops and robbers game. It was over the camp, but it wasn't cops and robbers. We just had to like run
Was
away
it
from the counselors.
wasn't
If
it Mission
they,
Impossible?
oh yeah, Mission Impossible. They had
Yeah, oh
flashlights at
gosh,
night.
that was impossible. Not to
Hmm.
make a plan, but
It was so
that's
stressful
what I did.
too. I didn't get one coin on the other side.
I remember I played it the first time, like I actively played it the first time I went to camp, and I got caught like a few times, but I was still playing it. And then the second time, I think I was just like,
Eh.
yeah, I was like, I don't care anymore.
I mean, honestly, it was just so stressful. I cannot believe people thought that was fun. I was like, I'm going to die out here. And also, it was dark, so I like tripped over a bunch of branches.
I
So I had
know.
like scratches the next day. It wasn't cute.
Yeah, for me, like I'm not very comfortable in the dark, so I had no idea of my bearings. I had no idea where I was going. And then there's actually like a lot of counselors, so like there's
Mm.
one everywhere. And I mean, I guess it's fun for the people who really like this stuff. Like, it's like intense hide and seek time.
Yeah.
But for me, like for me in group games, I'm not really
Hardcore.
not a fan of them. But yeah, hardcore hide and seek time. I can see how it's fun, but I mean, it was just so like outnumbered. I was like, and we were just not. We're not like CIA agents. So
So, with that being said, cannot I'm like not a Segu person. I'm not a Segway person. I say
okay.
that because
So just topic change. Next
yeah.
topic.
So, hobbies. Do you want to talk about
Hobbies.
hobbies?
Don't we all need hobbies because of COVID? You know.
Everybody just has a new hobby that they picked up.
I mean, a lot of people started doing things, which I guess is cool because you're just gonna die if you sit here and literally do nothing.
Mm.
So yeah, my personal hobbies. Uh, yeah. So before COVID, actually, all my life I've been a very avid reader. I've always been reading ever since I was like a kid. That's why a lot of people who see me, I wear glasses by the way, and my prescription's like -4. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, why are your glasses so thick?" Because I have thick glasses, and it's probably because I read so much as a kid. So as much as they tell you reading is good for you, for some reason I did it wrong, and now I'm like blind because of it. But reading is good. Don't stop reading. It's just I don't know. I think maybe I read in the dark or something. Anyway, long story short, I still love reading. It's still my thing. Um, as to how I got into reading, well, my parents used to buy books all the time from Scholastic. We used to have this thing called Scholastic at school. Did you guys have that?
Well, the books. I remember that they had like my parents bought me Scholastic like exercise books where you had to do like English language synonyms and
Okay,
antonyms.
well, sorry, I should have specified. They have at our school what they did was they gave us catalogs, and as a part, you
Oh.
would order from the pub because Scholastic is a publishing company, and you would order from. You would circle kind of what you wanted on the catalog. Your parents would pay for it, and they had books, they had like toys and all that. And it was really funny because someone brought it up recently in my class and was saying, oh, remember Scholastic? Everyone bought it everyone only bought the toys. And then there's me flashing back to every time I came home with Scholastic, I had like the box. They gave me the box that the books came in because I had so many. So every time we had Scholastic orders, I would just be taking home the box full of books. Anyway, yeah, that was pretty funny. And what my parents would do is like we would have like reading night. This is before I could read on my own, and then she would like read us the books, and it was like a family thing. And then gradually I started reading on my own. So yeah, it's been a huge part of my life. So I don't really know what to say. Another kind of segueing into another hobby of mine is writing. I don't do it as much now, I have to admit. I've kind of been intimidated by writing.
Same.
But I've always loved making stories and creating characters and doing all this. I have a very vivid imagination. And it's just writing. I kind of read because I wanted to write, if that makes sense. And you can't really want to write without reading books. You have to have like an example to follow or something. So I used to write a lot between grades 3 and grade 6. That was my writing. That was when I accomplished the most of my writing. My largest work was like 80 pages, but that was really bad. And I read it. I did it in grade 3. What we did was my friends and we were obsessed with Harry Potter. Right? Harry Potter, where it all started. Okay. So my friends were really obsessed with Harry Potter, and they tried to get me into it naturally. Now, I was more of a Percy Jackson fan at the time. I remember dissing
the drama.
Pardon?
The drama. Percy Jackson versus Harry Potter.
Book people have drama too. I was really into Percy Jackson, so I kind of dissed Harry Potter a few times. And it really didn't help that my friends literally discussed the Harry Potter books in front of me. So they spoiled the entire series for me. Mm. And so I was like, why do you even need to bother reading it, right? Doesn't it suck when people spoil things for you?
Yeah.
And then so I think in grade 4, my friend forced me to read Harry Potter. She gave me the 4th book, okay? She didn't give me the 1st book. She gave me the 4th book. She was like, read it. And I was like, okay, it's the 4th book. But anyway, I picked it up and read it. And then I read them in complete not order. I said goodbye to numbers. I said, I don't know how to count. So I just read any one that was in the library, I picked up and I read the next one. So
order is a social construct.
And I became a complete Harry Potter nerd. And then this work of 80 pages that I'm referring to, I made an original character and I put it in the Harry Potter universe. We all did that. Oh. So we had I can spend hours talking about this, but I'm not, because there's literally no context and everyone's going to be so confused. So I feel like everyone's already confused enough right now. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best here. So that was 80 pages. And then an original work that I did, I was going to write a book. Yeah, that didn't happen. It was 30 pages. I stopped at 30 pages. I realized I hit a huge writer's block. Realized I had no idea where the plot was going, so I stopped. And then ever since then, I took a step back from it. So that was up until grade 6. But I still have ideas. I still come up with ideas a lot. So I'll write them down. But then what happened was grade 7. Now my main hobby is art. So that's what I do pretty much 24/7. It took, right now, I have to say, after COVID, it overtook books. Reading, I didn't really have that much access to a library, so art became my number one thing.
Again, the tragedy, the drama.
I know, guys, I can actually write a book about my life. If I remember correctly, my experiences with my past friends, oh my gosh, the drama we had could make a series. I used to read Dork Diaries. That's got nothing on my life, okay?
Isn't that haven't we all?
Yeah, it's true. But that drama in that book is nothing compared to me. I spit on her. She's a good writer. I enjoyed that series. I was more into Dumb Diaries, Dear Dumb Diary, but
I never read that actually.
It was actually quite funny. I enjoyed it. It was one of my main series as a kid. But I was going somewhere. Right. So
something about art and stuff.
Something about art. And then what happened was I took my story writing and it morphed into instead of expressing my ideas through words, it became expressing my ideas through pictures. So it was still the same, the desire of, say, writing was there, but then I started looking more at like comics rather than actual novels.
The weeb starts to creep in.
Oh yes, and then anime hit. Right. COVID. Okay, it's COVID's fault. COVID made me get into anime. Then the closet weeb was born. I'm a closet weeb. Anyway, yeah, so anime
for those that know us, like for the people that know who Luca is, like this was so shocking to me when I found out that Luca liked anime. I was just like, oh no, it's taking you too.
Okay, look, just like everything, anime has its good side and anime has its bad side. You gotta be very careful where you walk. So like I understand for people who are like anime is like, oh my gosh, terrible and horrifying and all that. But I mean like, you know, there's bad and horrifying movies too, you know? Like it's anyway, it was more the art. I really got into anime for the art. And the animation. I really actually at one point in my life got into animation. Like I can't do it, but I'm really interested in doing it. I can't like I have to practice obviously, but I wanted to animate. I thought it would be really cool. And then I realized I don't have like voice actors at my disposal. Like, I can't voice act, so it would kind of be awkward. So then that's when I was like, maybe comics are better, but
for just now, so we're clear, no hate towards weebs. Like a lot of like I would say probably 70% of my friends are weebs. That's just why I was saying that. Like everybody I know is either a K-pop stan or a weeb or both. And then I mean there are select few who aren't like that, but
let me just state I'm in the both category. It's my friend's fault. She got me into it at school. She got me into Blackpink. Now I listen to Blackpink. So.
Oh, I thought you meant anime. How did it start? It's a long and tortuous tale.
Oh yes, it's very, very daring. Anyway, I was into at my library. I actually started reading manga before I started watching anime. I was into My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan, which are two really popular, I would say, series.
Can attest to that.
Yeah, probably a lot of weebs. I think pretty much all weebs are into that. I don't want to generalize those. So there may be some exceptions. So those are the two that I was into. And then when I discovered there was an animated version, of course I was gonna go watch it, right? So then that segued into a bunch of other series, and I also like read manga too. So it was just it snowballed from there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It went from reading 2 mangas to like watching, researching, looking up the people that like voice act.
Yeah, I'm not that interested in the voice actors, but it's funny when you have 2 characters and they have the same voice actor and you're like, oh my gosh.
It's the same person. Wow.
Yeah, you're like mind blown. You're like, I can't believe it. Even though it's like, okay, does it really even matter in life? But
well, I mean, that's what I do when I like watch a TV show. It doesn't matter how interested I am in like the actual TV show. I'll always search up cast and like I'm like, okay, look, where do I know them from? Because a lot of the time there's a lot of people who you like see in multiple, especially if you're in a specific genre that you're going through. You're like, this person I've definitely seen before. Hold on. Okay. We are back. I have restarted recording. You know, on Zoom, you can pause recording. That's why. That's what I clicked.
Okay, interesting.
You probably were like, oh, she didn't even mute her mic. What was she even doing then?
Okay, maybe we can cut this part out.
Oh, yeah. So then... Oh, yeah. What about music? Another hobby.
I mentioned I'm not a K-pop stan yet. I might be going there, but not yet. I have to say I'm
eventually
like the iceberg. I'm not there yet. I've kept it pretty Blackpink central. Like I have to say they're a really good band. Don't
they have like 7 songs?
Right?
Oh, I just like hear a lot that they have like not that much.
They don't have that. They're I think they're relatively recent.
No, I mean they don't have that much like music out.
Yeah, I know. They don't have that many. Even me, I was looking at them and I was like, they have like a few songs, that's it.
The discography is not strong there.
Yeah. Well, they could be, going to make more, I don't know.
The controversy around them is like the whole K-pop industry is so corrupt or whatever, is that they think basically, well, you know, these bands are kind of commercialized, like they've been made in well, they're not really machines, but they were put together to make like the quote unquote perfect
Yeah,
band, right? So they all have
I
roles
would
and
be
stuff.
surprised.
And I mean, I'm not super educated on this, but the theory is that they're like getting overworked, and the reason why they don't have new music out is because the record label just want them to be basically just faces of the band, and not necessarily like they want them to be more influencers than actual like
Okay.
musicians type.
I mean, I would be surprised. I think the whole fame industry is corrupt. To be honest. I think that when you have that much power, when you have that much status, it's not going to end well. But just in general, absolute power corrupts absolutely. You know, I wanted to like show myself as an educated nerd, but then it just turned into an anime weeb. So sure, okay,
What a
there we go.
conversation.
I'm
She's
also
so
into
smart.
English. I'm also into English literature, by the way. But I guess maybe we'll talk about that later.
English literature, but do you not mean reading books? Like English literature, like
I should
essays
have
or something?
specified. Can we talk about books for a bit? I'd like to
Sure.
discuss because that was I think one of the things we wanted to discuss my
Mm-hmm.
taste in books. So I used to pretty much read everything except nonfiction, depended on the nonfiction. I was very like iffy about nonfiction, to be honest. Sometimes like I don't care about your life, if that makes sense. But at the same time, if it was like an interesting life story, then I'll read it. But like Michelle Obama, okay.
Wow, the
Yeah,
shade, the tea.
shade. Michelle Obama's a cool person. I'm not into reading autobiographies that much. I don't know. She's a good person. I like her.
I
She's
mean, to
cool.
be fair, I barely read any nonfiction. Like, it's really boring to me.
Yeah. Anyway, but I mean, if it's historical, it really depends for nonfiction. But I'm just like fiction is my thing. I love fiction because I like writing so much and I like coming up with things so much. So fiction was automatically the one for me. I used to read everything, and I kind of still do, but I got more into classical literature now. Not 20th century, sometimes 20th century, a little bit older. My friend introduced me to it this year actually. She was really into the classics, and I was never really into the classics because they're hard to read, and it's like, man, do I really care? But
Same. The first time I tried reading To Kill a Mockingbird, I was like, ugh, this is so long. What is even the point of this? But then I like actually read more than 10 pages, and it was much more interesting.
yeah, I had to actually read the graphic novel.
Ew, graphic novel To Kill a
Yeah.
Mockingbird?
There's a graphic novel To Kill the Mockingbird. I had to read it because I didn't understand the actual book. And so once I read that graphic novel version, it gave me like a visualization, And then I understood what was happening because so much had happened. There's the language at the time, I was not used to it. Anyway, now I'm a bit more used to that kind of writing, that style of writing. And there's like a lot of really good books out there that are in the 20th century genre.
Shout out to 1984.
Oh, yeah.
Our queen, Orwell.
Yes, or also Brave New World and Fahrenheit 451. It's like younger siblings. Have you read those?
Oh, sorry, I didn't totally hear. I heard Fahrenheit 451. I didn't finish reading it because I kind of am like I know that it's important to read the classics, but I'm also like, oh, but like there's this sci-fi book that's right in front of me right now, and I could just take it right now.
That's true.
The temptation to read about this girl living in the the year 2300 versus versus like the struggles of a small town girl like trying to make it in the world. It's just, I mean, I get it, but I guess I just prefer the whole escapism aspect of reading versus getting really depressed from reading a book.
Well, to be honest, that I think the English teachers who do Psych 4, when they wrote the course, they were like, okay, so our main goal here is not to teach them English. We need to terrify them out of their minds and show them what a hypothetical future could look like. Because I was terrified during this English class. I was like, oh my gosh, Big Brother's here. I'm like, okay. I was like,
we have been installed into a fascist regime.
Yeah. Anyway, Fahrenheit 451 was really good because the writing style is not heavy as Orwell. A lot of people in my class were complaining that Orwell, he's very like, he throws words on a page and expects us to understand it. And even my English teacher himself was saying Orwell's not a writer 100%. He's more of he has like ideas. He's an idealist, and he writes down for the purpose of conveying his ideas, not necessarily.
It's not as artistic, if you want to call it that.
It's not exactly. It's not artistic. It's not as artistic. Like we're reading The Great Gatsby right now, and that it's a very like beautiful language. You know, very written with an edge, like, you know what I mean, written with the purpose for people to enjoy it and people to appreciate the language he uses. And
I can't believe you guys are reading so much interesting stuff in English. Like, we were supposed, well, yeah, before COVID, every year in enriched English, because we go to French school, we have one Shakespeare play per year. But then this year they cut Hamlet, which like everybody was looking forward to reading Hamlet.
They
like
cut Hamlet, yeah, okay. We're doing Hamlet next year, actually.
Next year is Macbeth.
I don't know.
Hopefully we're going to get
cut
Macbeth.
Shakespeare from like our course entirely. We were supposed to do Macbeth.
Yeah, they axed it because we're mixing with like regular medium and like enriched English, and so they're like, oh, it's too hard. So I'm trying to think, like, what books did we read this year? We read Of Mice and Men, which is like important. And then
I have an issue with that book.
I
don't like it.
Why?
The ending. Just a lot of, I know there's a lot of debate about the ending. I didn't like the main message. Like, the message can be kind of misinterpreted. I get he had a good intention. I don't want to like spoil it. Maybe people haven't read it. So the ending can be interpreted like two different ways. One's like more positive, one's more negative. I took it the negative way. I understand that there was not much more he could do, but at the same time, I feel like that wasn't the way he could have gone. Like,
I mean, I don't know. I think that it, like, at the same time, it makes sense to me. Although it's because of the time, and we didn't live there, so we obviously don't know how it would have happened for real. But what was the middle? Oh, I guess this year, like, the books were okay. I'm just very upset about the whole Shakespeare thing. The middle book was Mouse, which is it's a comic, graphic novel.
Oh, that's actually really good. I have a copy in French. It's really good.
Why would you read it in French?
Well, no, see, I read it in English, and then what happened was I had a book report project, and she said, you can choose your book, whatever. And I went up to her, I was like, hey, I want to do this graphic novel. Can I like do it in French? Can I do a graphic novel? And she was like, sure. And then I showed her to her. She was like, okay with it. So I did my French project on that.
Oh.
That's why I bought the French copy, so that I could we had to do a summary of the chapters. We had to relate the life story of the main character, his kind of story. You know, we did extra things, like I made a cover. I made a different cover. I made we had to write a poem. So yeah, it was kind of a fun thing. But I remember the first time I read it, it really shook me. It was really terrifying for me. I remember reading it, but it's really good.
Tough. I mean, I honestly, like, this year was not bad. Although the next book we have, I'm not so sure. It's called it's called Indian Horse, and it's about like Native American experiences. The whole thing is like okay, but I just don't know why. I feel like it's not gonna. I feel like because we're gonna read it in school, it's gonna ruin it for me.
Yeah, I tend to read the books before we read it in school. Like, I'll either go out and find it at the library, read it myself, and then when I read it in school, sure, it's way more boring, but I get sometimes there's things that I missed.
Luca's one of those people, guys.
Yeah, no, don't judge me here, but it's the deeper understanding, because there's sometimes a lot of things that I miss. Like, I read The Catcher in the Rye, for example.
Catcher in the Rye, guys. We memed it so hard because we read it last year, and it was, man, because on Spark Notes there's like always a bunch of things about the book, right?
Yeah.
And so the teacher, she basically just took the themes. I don't know if it's from Spark Notes, but they were exactly worded just like Spark Notes. So it's like, I remember it was like alienation as a form of what?
Did she MLA cite it?
No.
That's plagiarism.
But I mean, it's like general themes, so maybe she came up with it herself. But the way that she like name them. They were just like Sparknouts. So I was like, oh, okay. Because I remember specifically one of the themes that she put was like alienation as a form of self-protection, and like how does it manifest in the book, blah blah blah, whatever. Anyway, you were trying to say something about Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So the first time I read it, I really didn't like it because it was very, what's the word? Very a bit obscene. Just a lot of swearing, a lot of reference to adult content.
Explicit things. We don't do that on this child-friendly show.
I didn't like his attitude. Like I didn't like his attitude. I was like, this guy just goes around. I didn't understand him, and he seemed like he actually reminded me of someone I know. So and I'm like,
that's rough. Kind of reading the book. Like Holden Caulfield is someone that you can think of. That's pretty rough, man.
Look, he's gotten better. So yeah, we're not. I have an interesting relationship with him. We've known each other for a while, and he used to kind of bully me a bit, but not actually bully. He would
don't
say,
they all?
Yeah, that's true. He had no filter. He's one of those people that have no filter, so they say things without thinking, and then you're sitting there like, why would you say that? Whoa. Anyway, I felt like that aspect reminded me of Holden Caulfield. So anyway, long story. I'm not talking about the guy. So what I did was I had an English project this year, and it was about authors with censorship, in which like on authors who had been censored for their novels. So I was with my two friends, and then we had to pick names out of a hat, like author names out of a hat that would be the one we would do. And so I remember going to my friend and telling her, okay, all the authors on this list I'm okay with. There's just one I don't want to do because I still remember my bad experience of reading J.D. Salinger. So of course she picks J.D. Salinger. I'm like, bro, there was one name I told you not to pick and you picked it. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. But anyway, then I was like really annoyed because I had to like do this author, and I already had an issue with him because I didn't understand his writing. And then I found out that he reflected himself in the main character. Like it was not because he chose to be this way. It was more he almost had PTSD from stuff that had happened in his life. I know you're laughing. I know what it's like to make a meme out of things. So I don't know what inside jokes you guys have, but you made a meme out of Fahrenheit 451. It's pretty funny. Anyway, I just felt when I figured out that it was mental illness, I stopped hating the book as much. You know what I mean? Because there's hints that they say, he's in the book his brother dies, right? His younger brother dies.
Yeah.
Just for context. And he's kind of dealing with that, and he does it in maybe not the best ways. So.
Healthy, not very healthy.
Yeah, poor guy. So I don't know, I felt really bad for even the author too. He had PTSD from his war experiences, and it changed. It's funny how when you figure out things about the book that you didn't pick up on before, and when you find out author experiences, it changes your view of the book almost. So
I never read Perks of Being a Wallflower because they made us watch the movie with Emma Watson and I forgot the other people. And when I remember, it was such a shock when I forgot her name, but the aunt, when you find out that the aunt has been molesting the guy, it's just like, oh my gosh. Because the whole movie, right, he talks about her as if she's some kind of saint, and she's the best person in his life, she's always supportive or whatever, and then suddenly it's whoa, that took a turn.
I've never read the Perks. I've heard of it, but I've never actually read
it. It's honestly really good. Apparently the movie was one of the producers was the author, so he tried to make it very similar to what he had envisioned in his mind, so that's good. But I mean, it's obviously better than the movie because the movie can only be so long. So I mean, I haven't read it, but I think that you should either watch or read it because it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, that you kind of reminded me of that because I was like, wow, this guy is so boring. This guy, the main character of Person Being a Wallflower, because obviously for me, Catcher in the Rye was just I mean, duh. He's kind of I thought his character was supposed to be an ironic take on a pretentious jerk type of thing, and you're supposed to feel bad for him and sympathize with his situation or whatever. But I remember in class we would just be like, man, this guy.
He's I haven't reread the book recently, but I remember like I still have that feeling. I'm still like, bro, you need like so much help right now. But now I'm like, before it was like as a mean thing. Now I'm like, you need a lot of help, you know?
And also the fact that like our teacher made us analyze the symbolism behind him. Do you remember the I remember it wasn't a carnival, like a you know when there's the little horsies that you can ride that go
The
like
carousel.
yeah, he talked about wanting to go on a carousel but being too old now or something like that. And she's like, okay guys, let's analyze this page because there's a lot of things and a lot of symbols. And I was like, oh. But then after it was like actually insightful because I remember she said like, oh, you see here, he's showing like he's saying indirectly how he's too big to be on the carousel, but he wasn't anymore or something like that. And he's like passing on his responsibility as a child or whatever that's supposed to mean, as like this. Was it the little girl? I forgot. There was a kid that went onto the carousel.
Was it his sister?
Oh yeah, Phoebe.
Phoebe? Yeah.
Yeah, man, everybody loves Phoebe.
Yeah, the whole book is about the loss of innocence, right? And the not wanting to grow up and become an adult because he's very cynical towards adults. He's very like, I don't trust them.
Phonies.
Yeah, he calls them phonies all the time. I remember I was like, oh god.
So many phonies.
He's very judgmental, very cynical towards them. He wants to stay a kid forever, and then he wants to, in his own twisted way, he wants to protect other children from going through the same almost betrayal he did. I guess maybe that betrayal would be like.
He's like, nobody told me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that we've talked about books for a while.
Yeah, I love metaphors. I just want to.
Let's talk about social media because Luca doesn't have social media. So if you try to find her, you won't.
I'm Luca.
Censored.
We edit that. We edit that. I just said my new real name. We edit that?
Yeah, I'll take it out.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Luca, and I don't have social media. So yeah, I don't really have. I have like Hangouts. You want to contact me on Google and email and texting. Obviously, I'm not gonna like put my contact information here. But
we just dox you. We put your address. Quickly go to Luca's house.
Yeah, I'm having a huge party in protest of COVID. Anyway, no, don't have parties. It's bad. So yeah, I don't have Instagram. I don't have what's the major Snapchat.
Oh god, Snapchat.
I don't have. Do people still use Snapchat? I don't know. What do people use nowadays?
According to sources, yes.
Snapchat's still a thing?
Yeah. Mostly for the streaks, though.
Yeah, and isn't Discord the new main thing?
Oh well, I mean, for us, it's always been Discord. Like, for the nerds of society, it's what we use.
The societal outcasts. Okay. I can say that because I'm a nerd. So I'm an outcast. Yeah. So the reason why I don't actually have a phone. So let's start with there. I still don't have a phone. Am I gonna get one soon? I don't know. I would maybe like if I had the choice between a phone or like an iPad Pro, I'd go for the iPad. I find phones are only good for calling people. And do I call people that much? The answer is really no. So, why I don't have social media? That was more. It's more of like my parents started with it. Like they never kind of allowed me to have social media. But at the same time, I can easily go on my own and make an account with without them knowing. But of course, that would go against my relationship with them and all that. And I don't even really want one, to be honest. I've survived this long without a phone. Like people ask me, how do you do it without a phone? Well, okay, first of all, it's not like I have no technology in the house. I have an iPad, so that kind of balances the other needs of the phone. And then calling people when I have to call someone, like people call their parents to come pick them up, right? I arrange a time with my mom before she comes, like in the morning. I say, okay, come pick me up at 3:35, please. And she'll be like, okay, cool. And then we prearrange it. And if I have to wait a couple of minutes, I wait. So in that aspect, I don't really need a phone. And to be honest, like I said, I've survived this long without one. Sure, maybe when I'm older and I go to work and I start taking the bus, because I don't take the bus. It's kind of, I don't know if that's weird.
Ooh, what a teenager, guys.
Yeah. I feel like you're mocking me. I don't take the bus. I don't take public transportation because I have such a bad sense of direction and I probably get really lost. Like if I go to school, I probably just end up in like Vaudreuil somehow. I don't know.
It does take practice. I mean, the first time I took a bus was in Sec 1, and I thought that the bus would just stop at every stop. And so, like, when it didn't stop at my stop, I was like, but it did yesterday. Oh, but this was the second time I took the bus.
Okay.
The first time, they stopped at my stop, so I just, like, went out. But I didn't know that you had to, like, ask for the bus to stop with, like, the button, right? I thought it would just, like, stop there. And I was like, what are they doing?
They don't stop automatically?
No, it doesn't. You have to, like, the bus will skip a stop if there's nobody there or nobody wants nobody pressed the button.
Interesting. I didn't even know that. Well, shows you how much I know about buses. Yeah. So yeah, where was I going with this? Yeah, so a phone I can see how it'd be useful in like work and stuff, but that's much later on in my life. So yeah, that's why I currently that explains the phone part. And like I said, social media, I don't. If people want to contact me, they can like email me or like use archaic Google Hangouts, which I think is going to be shut down. I don't know, but
it's always getting shut down.
I feel special like when people you can like see it just in general, like when people send out group chat messages and then they go and they message me, I'm like, oh, you care about me. So it's like a personal thing, right? And then as for posting things, I don't have anything I want to post. And I know I mentioned being an artist, so I guess maybe people might be wondering why I don't post my art. A, I don't feel comfortable doing that. B, I don't feel like I'm at that level yet. And to be honest, I know how easy, I feel like it'd be very easy for me to get obsessed with likes and people commenting. Like, I'm not going to say I'm not like that because I know the minute I get like a phone or I get a social media account, I'm going to be like that. So in a way, it's like I'm trying to prevent that from happening because it's very easy to, stress about what other people think of your work. And then every little like, you're like, oh my gosh, they liked it, or a dislike and your confidence is destroyed for the rest of your life. I'm a very fragile person. I can't take criticism well. And I feel like I'm not ready to expose myself to that world yet.
One day it will happen, though.
It will happen. Hopefully I'll be at a more mature level to process that.
Although, I mean, you might be right. For me, though, at least in social media, like, it's never been I know that a lot of people have a certain view of like, oh, I need to get engagement. But since my account is my account, it's not like a public account. Well, it was public for a while, actually. But then I was like, oh, what am I doing? Like, why am I keeping it public? I guess I understand the fear, but I don't really feel that way. Like, obviously, if you get, I don't know, all of your followers like your post, which is impossible, by the way, guys. It doesn't work like that. But if that happens, then that's like super cool or whatever. But I don't really care.
I mean, it's cool if you don't care about it. Like, I'm not, I just want to make it clear, I'm not at all dissing anyone with social media. Okay, this is just my personal opinion about it. I feel personally I'm not ready. If you guys feel like you're ready or you're cool, then I mean, good for you. I mean, I still look at like what people post sometimes. Like, I watch videos. Sometimes I'll see things.
The moral of the story is everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Oh, and I do this thing where I I put limits on certain stuff, like on my phone specifically, not on my computer. I don't know if I can do that actually, but computer is much harder to like actually monitor how much time you spend. So
yeah, my school iPad has screen time, which is interesting. I didn't download it on my other iPad, but I don't use my other iPad for anything except music because there's no storage on it. I'm full. I hate it because like I have no storage at all. But I have to delete all my photos and stuff. But yeah.
Oh yeah, well on all Apple products you can see on screen time. And well, if you have like that's in settings, but if you update to a certain amount of like, it's not that high actually, the update, but if you update your iOS to a certain like whatever, you get to put limits even on iPad. Like it's not just on the phone and stuff.
One of my iPads is completely archaic. It's like
Yes.
iPad Air 2. It's the one that so it's kind of useless, but it's my music thing. It's like an iPod but just bigger.
Yeah. Well, I feel like some of the iPads in like from Apple are huge. Like what is it called? Is it called an iPad Air Giant or something? I don't know, man. I saw one and it was like bigger than my computer, and my computer is small, but still like bruh.
I know we were supposed to talk about music, so I don't know. It just reminded me of that. Do you want to talk about that like after? Or?
I mean, go ahead with what you wanted to say. I didn't have anything else to say.
Oh, okay, because we might have gone into conspiracy theories about Apple, but maybe it's okay. You start. Tell me what kind of music you like.
Oh, me? Well, this is supposed to be of a I cannot speak. This is I'm so eloquent, guys. I can enunciate words. I mean, I'm honestly like I would say my music taste is out of convenience. So whatever I hear from videos on Instagram, like because Instagram now has like a feature where it's basically TikToks, but on Instagram. Most people just re-upload their TikToks onto Instagram, and I'll just scroll through that. Oh, and basically on that, whatever song I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and I'll just add it to my Spotify. And I don't even make playlists. I just go through my like songs, and I'll just be like, this is a certain number of songs that I've just liked, so I'm just gonna, and I just keep replaying them for a while until I like another set of songs, and I'll just play those. No play.
I don't use Spotify because I don't have Spotify Premium, and Spotify, I find free Spotify is like, and my music app that I use is like technically illegal. Don't kill me. I don't know what it is. It's like some kind of file downloader. The problem is I can't find it on the App Store now.
Oh.
At the time I download, it's like off the App Store, so I wanted to download it on my new iPad, my school iPad, so that I can kind of almost get rid of the old one because it's basically useless. But I can't find it now. Now I'm keeping it. But yeah, that's cool. Any specific? What songs are you listening to now? What's in your favorite set?
Oh, well, I recently watched Steven Universe, so a lot of Steven Universe, what's it called? Like soundtrack, because they're not full songs. Like some of them are just like a minute long, but it's such a vibe. Like for real, I don't know if it's because of my emotional attachment to the TV show or whatever, but like listening to it, you just put yourself back into that space. What else?
I never saw Steven Universe.
Really? Yeah. It's really fun. Although I guess after you watch the first season, it's pretty much the same thing until like season 4 or 5. And then after that, they have a movie. And after that, they have like another TV show, which is kind of different. It's like him in the future. And that season, like that was hard hitting, very good. They talk about like PTSD and mental health issues. And it's like very interesting the way that they manifest it, because obviously there's magic in this world. Yeah, it's super interesting, like I feel. What else?
Yeah, my childhood show that I just so much nostalgia was Phineas and Ferb. Just we watched that so much, and every time like I see something or I hear something, I'm like, my childhood. Anyways, it was the best. It was probably my favorite show, other than the original Looney Tunes cartoons.
Like really? I didn't watch that much Looney Tunes. I feel like all I did was watch the Disney Channel, or like
I never watched the Disney Channel. I never watched it. I don't know, like all of these shows. I'm like, what are these? Yeah.
You don't have the nostalgia, bro. Like, because obviously I also watched Phineas and Ferb, but I don't think as much as I watched like Disney Channel TV shows. Okay. Although in Canada, I think they don't have Disney Channel. They have Family Channel, Disney XD, Charged, like all of these.
Phineas and Ferb is on Disney XD.
Right. It's all Disney affiliated, but like I don't think Canada has the Disney Channel specifically. I might be wrong. But like I remember always watching like Family or like Charged or Disney XD. It was never specifically called the Disney Channel.
Okay.
Oh, and we would watch Nickelodeon sometimes if there wasn't anything good on all those
Yeah,
other
when
TV
I was
shows.
younger, I used to watch Nickelodeon. I used to watch Peppa Pig sometimes. It's funny. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Personally, music tastes for me. Well, I know I mentioned anime, right? And I mentioned K-pop, so it's pretty safe to assume that my playlist has gone the ratio of English songs to like other language songs
Has
is like
gone.
very unbalanced. So yeah, I listen to a lot of anime openings, and um, recently my friend got me into J-pop, which is quite good. So
The
I was
rabbit hole keeps going.
pardon?
Oh, I said that the rabbit hole keeps unfolding.
Oh yeah, I'm you know like you've gone to the bottom, but there's like still
There's just
more.
more. It just keeps happening.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. Anyway, yeah. So K-pop, mostly I listen to Blackpink. I'm not a fan of BTS yet. I really like Dynamite though. That was a good song. Their hit here. They did a hit here. Really in
Because
English.
it was in English.
Yeah, but I mean, I have to say their English is pretty good for a Korean group. So that's really the only song I've listened to from them. And then I think some songs here and there that are from K-pop girl bands, but like really mostly Blackpink. And for J-pop,
Oh, I'm very unversed in J-pop, so.
yeah, I like the reason why. First of all, the reason why I like songs that I can't understand originally is like I like the fact that I don't understand them, right? Because when I was listening to English songs, I found that there were so many that just had like explicit undertones, and I felt like kind of uncomfortable like hearing that. And mind you, not to say that Japanese songs and other language songs don't have explicit undertones, but then you gotta look for the lyrics and all that. So even if there was something kind of off about it, I wouldn't hear it right away. But I mean, there's also this part of me who will go and check the lyrics and make sure like it's okay to listen to. But yeah, I really like the fact that I can't understand the lyrics. And the funny thing about Japanese songs is you'll hear something that sounds so light and fluffy and happy, and then you look at the lyrics and it's about like it's so like depressing and dark, and you're like, oh my gosh, this little girl has issues because it's usually a little girl singing about murdering people. Anyway, I like how it's like you get that impression that it's so happy, and then you read the lyrics and you're like, oh my gosh. So yeah, that's why I'm really into J-pop right now.
So positive.
Pardon?
I said so positive.
Yeah, very positive vibes here. Very angsty, very dark. Anyway, sometimes it's better not to look at the lyrics. Let me just warn you. But K-pop was interesting because it's very similar to the music we have here. I find it's very
of course.
Yeah.
Pop is everywhere.
Pop is everywhere. But I mean, like, it struck me how similar it was. So I was like,
okay. When you listen to Hillsong Young and Free.
I don't know how I feel about Hillsong Young and Free.
I think it's trashy. Like, it's really tacky how they're trying to cater because you're not supposed to. I don't think you should do that. Like, I'm calling out Hillsong right now. They'll never see this, obviously, but I think it's very, like, I don't know how even to describe it, but it's just so weird. Why would you need to, especially now that like the EDM era is basically over, right? Nobody really does those like big drops or whatever. Yeah. Nobody wants to anyway, just that whole kind of thing is not really in now. And you can just see that if they were always following the pop trends, it's just like it'll never work, And also I remember like showing one of their songs. I forgot what it's called. It was like featuring a Christian rapper or something. And my mom, this is so bad. What is this? And I was like, oh, it's Hillsong Young and Free. And she's like, ew, like just turn it off. Anyway, your thoughts?
Wow. I don't really listen much to them. I remember the first time I heard them was I think at Frontier Lodge where we had the worship night.
And Living Hope or something like that?
Not Living Alive or something?
Oh yeah, Alive.
Yeah, or no, maybe it was Wake Within Me. She sang, was it Stephanie? Pastor Michael's wife sang something, right? I remember her, right? She did the worship night and she sang one of their songs, and I remember thinking, hey, this isn't horrible. Like I was okay with it, but then I listened to another song called Real Love, and I was like, It wasn't really my thing. It was more like it didn't have that lyrical content, you know what I mean? And I find the most important thing about worship songs are the lyrics rather than the music, if that makes sense. Because your lyrics are supposed to like it's what when you write a Christian song, it's just God telling you to write. But God, it's hard to like I give a message, I guess, when there's so much music.
Mm.
That
Well,
makes sense.
it's not even that. It's more just like the way that they made it was so poppy was
It is
it made
pop.
me cringe.
Yeah,
Nothing
I'm not
wrong with
gonna
pop.
say
I
it
just
bugged
mean
me.
like why would you make your Christian music sound so weird?
Yeah, I look. I think it's what you said. They're trying to cater to the younger generations.
But the
But
younger generations, including moi, like don't like it. So who are you trying to impress? Hillsong. That's the truth. I think they should have just kept with the main the main thing.
yeah, the main hill song is good.
Hmm.
But I
Obviously,
Alive and
apparently,
Awake Within Me. I don't have like those are two songs I heard from them.
I
They're
think
okay. I don't hate them. I just I don't know. You're right. It's pretty poppy. I don't have
uh,
a very strong opinion about. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's weird to make it poppy when it just doesn't sound good and people won't even like listen to it.
I wanted to say like this is no comment towards Hillsong Church, like the mega church chain, I guess you could call it. It's kind of weird to describe it that way.
Yeah.
Just for those who didn't know, just girly things. Hillsong is a set of churches, like mega churches, big churches that are all over the world, and they make music and they'll release. I mean, they have radio versions, but I honestly like the live versions better because
I find there's a power in the live versions. There's like emotions you feel. Like when I listen to them, rather than like a recording, I'll feel more what's the word? I'll feel more like emotions when it's a live recording, hearing other people sing and like
mm,
knowing that like there's like a gathering and feeling a bit like part of it. I don't know.
yeah.
Like it's a different thing when you're listening to a professional recording of worship music alone, or when you're physically like in a church and you're with like thousands, especially like Hillsongs are huge. There's huge. It's a a bunch of huge churches, thousands of people singing and glorifying God, and that emotion there is different.
Anyway, what I wanted to
I,
say.
I am I not explaining it well enough?
No, no, no.
When it's other people, it's like it makes it more because I guess you feel more of the community aspect. I don't know.
No, it was good. I just wanted to like mention this is not like approval of the Hillsong Church because I've seen a lot of problematic stuff come out of it. Obviously, since it's such a big chain, like so many people, but um, there's been some iffy stuff. Like obviously, I'm not totally well versed on it. Like I'm not 100% educated on whatever, but some of the stuff is like mm, or it might have been Bethel, probably both of them. Like
What
the
about?
it's a high chance that it's both of them.
But what did you?
Um oh well, I think from Bethel there was like a book review that every student like at Bethel school, what would you call it? Like Bethel Bible school type thing. They go there for I guess a year, something like that. And not the first, one of the books that they have to read during their time, like learning more about God, is the book written by their main pastor. I forgot his name. And in that book, there's a lot of things that are like problematic. Um, so he'll say like, "Oh, we must have revival of the church so that Jesus will come." When really in Revelation it talks about how there will be a time of darkness before Jesus comes back, or there will be time of
Yeah.
like spiritual poverty or whatever you want to call it. So that's like already wrong. Like thinking that you need a revival for that so that Jesus comes back.
Okay.
A lot of stuff like that. And it's not just one thing like that. It's like a very long list of things in that book
And you
specifically.
know what? Like it's not. We don't do a revival so that Jesus can come down. Like our actions will bring him down. Like we're summoning him. Like I
Summoning God. That is so funny.
like I find where things get iffy is when we start having to do actions. Like even when it just goes, even just the fact of going to heaven, when it's like, oh, you gotta work hard and live your life as a good Christian to go to heaven. No.
Well, I talked about
Right?
that in the last podcast where like good
Yeah,
and bad good and bad people cannot really exist on earth because you can't morally judge somebody. You can judge their actions, but we as humans are not able to morally judge a person. And we
yeah.
also don't have like the knowledge of their whole lives.
And like, you know what? Even the criminal on the cross, right, that Jesus spoke to, he the criminal who was saying, Lord, I like, Lord, there was one criminal who laughed at him. There was the other criminal, like when Jesus was being crucified, who was like, Lord, I believe in you. And Jesus said, okay, it's cool, see you in heaven.
See ya. Peace.
Peace out, see you in heaven. The guy was a murderer, but he turned to Jesus in the last moments of his life, and he said, Lord, I believe. Jesus was like, cool, see ya.
And he was still forgiven. So
yeah, so like I talked to one of my teachers at school. She's a Catholic, and she was saying that people, she was saying what you do on Earth matters in matters in a way. Obviously she's Catholic, so it's a bit different our beliefs, but she was saying if you do something horrible things in your life, you can't just go to heaven like that. I was thinking of that story. I was like, well, actually, I think you can. But I'm not promoting, live your life horribly.
become a heretic.
And then you got a free ticket. You have to really want to. It has to be God moving in you to like change that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah, that was interesting.
With that, I think that we have gone for long enough. Is there any closing thoughts that you want to say?
Don't have any in mind. No.
I think the title will be Summoning God.
Summoning God. I mean, yeah, when you said that, we gotta have a revival so that Jesus can come down. It's funny, one of my friends really talks about, she's an atheist, and she's always talking about, although these two have nothing to do with each other, she's always talking about Cthulhu, the Cthulhu mythos. And she's always talking about like summoning all these weird names, and I just was reminded of that. I mean, to be honest, there have been times like I've walked up to her and I was like, okay, can we like summon Cthulhu so we can't go to
right now? Right now.
Yeah, Christian life guy. Completely as a joke, of course. Because apparently when you summon Cthulhu, he destroys the world. So it's like, so in order not to
rough.
We gotta summon him, that's how I deal with my problems. I just go up to people and say, let's summon things.
Yeah, let's just like summon a demon right now. Like,
yeah.
Very chill stuff. just a weekend.
Out of context video because I feel like there were a lot of inside things we talked about that I hope it made sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if they have questions, I know Sophia's watching this. I know Kiani's watching this. Like, guys, it probably doesn't make sense to you, but I mean, I'm open to answering questions about Luca, obviously, and what we talked about. Because it might not have been the most clear, but it was so fun talking to you.
I miss talking to you so much.
I mean, we're gonna see each other next Friday.
Yeah, that's true.
We're recording this on Good Friday.
Okay, first of all, we're doing taser ball, which sounds like death. I don't even know what that is. Like, what is taser ball?
I don't know, and it says bring your own taser, so I'm like, oh, I don't have a taser.
Excuse me, are you assuming I own a taser?
Yeah, well, guys, look. Youth group people, we're so dangerous. Like, we literally all carry tasers on us.
Bring your own taser?
I think so.
Why would I own a taser?
That's the question I'm asking myself.
Do I have to buy one on Amazon? Is that legal?
I think it's a joke, though. I wasn't sure.
Oh, maybe.
Anyway, we're signing out.
Goodbye, everyone who's watching. I may know some of you. I may not know some of you. Some of you may see past my pseudonym. But, I don't know. It's pretty anonymous. I'm pretty sure none of you will figure out who I am at all.